By far, this is Akuma's most devastating art, and it's most famous in the Street Fighter series. This power is unequaled, and has the ability to destroy you in a flashing second. The Shun Goku Satsu, the utmost lethal blow in Street Fighter. In this episode, join us as we delve inside this amazing Street Fighter art. Who inspired the Shun Goku Satsu? How was it created? Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Fighterverse. The Shun Goku Satsu, meaning instant prison murder, usually translated as the Raging Demon, is a super combo commonly seen used by its heavy practitioner, Akuma. It is one of the most powerful attacks throughout the franchise. In the storyline, the Shun Goku Satsu is a very powerful but dangerous technique, taught in the original principles of the Ansatsuken by Gotetsu. When performed, the user of the Satsui no Hado would hand themselves over entirely to the killing intent, launching a series of deadly strikes in a moment. Historically, those that had used this technique had been unable to resist the potency of the Satsui no Hado, and were consumed by it, their minds reduced to that of violent, demon-like berserkers, such as Iwo and Oni. Gotetsu was the only known person who could somehow use this technique without falling into the deeper aspects of the Satsui no Hado. The Satsui no Hado, sometimes translated as the Dark Hado, is a dark energy-based force. It is the antithesis of the power of nothingness. While the executed attack is a brutal onslaught of merciless fury, the basis of the attack is said to be linked to karmic forces, drawn from the influence of the Satsui no Hado, channeling an infernal punishment in which the weight of sins and evil the victim has committed attacks their soul. While immensely powerful, this attack cannot work on artificial life forms. There is only one method known to perfectly counter this attack, that some characters have survived its wrath, being the power of emptiness, or Mu. Goken, Akuma's brother, had barely survived, being sent into a coma, before unearthing himself after coming back to consciousness. His grasp of the power of nothingness was limited at the time, and was greatly improved after his near-death experience. However, there are notable victims who somehow have survived this attack. Gil faced Shun Goku Satsu head-on, but because of his resurrection ability, he survived the encounter. As with every Street Fighter move created, all of them might have been inspired either by another anime or manga. This move in particular is not the exception. The concept of Shun Goku Satsu and Satsui no Hado itself seems also heavily inspired by the concept of Matoki no Aura from the Fist of the North Star manga series. Furthermore, the attack seems specifically inspired by the star technique called Hokuto Manju Muanken, North Star Thousand Hand Demon Sound Fist. The technique involves countless strikes in the blink of an eye, and is fueled by the user's evil fighting aura, making the Shun Goku Satsu share many similarities with it. This is the version that is used in the manga Street Fighter III Ryu Final, where Akuma's Shun Goku Satsu is visually identical to Manju Maonken. In addition, the appearance of the Heaven Kanji, characteristically associated with its user Akuma, and how the move style is that of assassination, is likely a reference to the Japanese word tenchu, meaning heavenly retribution, which was a popular memento written on paper by assassins to their victims and associates in feudal and turbulent eras of Japan. This move, while it looks cool, also serves as a great fighting tactic. In earlier installments, the Shun Goku Satsu usually can be combined into a standing jab or a standing roundhouse, as well as cancelling a slower move, in order to take advantage of the opponent being hit-stunned long enough from the prior attacks, but only if the inputs were done fast enough. Like most high-powered moves in Street Fighter IV, focus attacks can also provide an opening. Despite its power, however, characters can escape with longer range moves, due to the actual grab being close range. It can also be countered with as little as a quick jab or punished with a retreating jump attack. Its first animated appearance was in the episode The World's Greatest Warrior. Akuma used this move on Goken after he was inquired by him on why he decided to make a return after so long. Akuma replies by stating that he has learned the ultimate move of their art, in which Goken says, "Not the Raging Demon?" To which Akuma stands up and replies, "Yes," and uses it on Goken at point-blank range. Later, during Ken's battle with Akuma, Akuma threatens to use the Shun Goku Satsu on Ken himself, but is thwarted before he can pull it off. The move makes his first cinematic appearance in Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, when Akuma uses it to kill his master, Gotetsu. As the latter charges up an extremely powerful Metsu Hadouken, Akuma engulfs himself in a mass of red flames, zooming at high speed towards Gotetsu and passing through the Hadouken. Little of the move is seen, though as Gotetsu is grabbed, a bright flash can be seen right before the shot changes, and a harrowing scream can be heard echoing along with the familiar screech. As Akuma stands over his fallen master, the kanji for heaven can be seen not only burning bright on his back, but also in the thundery clouds above. Street Fighter V revealed that the attack consists of a series of teleport punches that start out slow, but get progressively faster as the attack goes on, and targets vital weak spots of the body, which brutally, or even fatally, injures the opponent. Akuma is a brutal and extremely powerful warrior, whose reason for being is to improve his fighting skills by battling and destroying strong adversaries. He rarely displays any signs of emotions or empathy, aside from occasional bursts of anger. He, however, will not engage in battle towards helpless people, and in some cases, may even defend them, either as a righteous calling or an afterthought of conquering a major adversary. Akuma has 3 stages of his power: his normal stance, Shin Akuma, and Oni. We will start with the Shin Akuma version. Akuma's personality remains more or less the same as the original. Essentially, he is Akuma using the fullest extent of his power. However, he is more competitive in battle and less merciful when he is fighting a strong warrior. He will only fight at his true potential when he has found an equal to do battle with. Oni version is the form Akuma takes when he has become one with the Satsui no Hado entirely, completely losing any shred of humanity he had remaining. In Street Fighter IV series, developers had referred to Oni as Akuma beyond Shin Akuma. This version of Akuma possesses longer white hair and darkened blue skin. This demonic transformation allows Akuma to use an air dash and grants him several new attacks, such as a forward slide, which slashes at the opponent as he passes, as well as an overhead ground stomp. Might I add that Akuma's Oni stage divided a moon in half in Asura's Wrath. To understand Akuma's power, we have to reach into his arsenal of techniques that he has mastered over the years. His power and techniques are the center of Akuma's being. We will start with Akuma's Ashura Senku. This technique might not be as flashy as his other techniques, but it is certainly useful against any opponent. Akuma widens his stance, glows into a red color, and lifts one knee and glides along the ground to any direction it wants. While his eyes glowing red, this technique makes him impossible to hit while in its gliding form. This teleport move acts similar to a ghost from its projection move. The teleport can be used to get away from an opponent bearing down on him, to suddenly launch an attack, often from behind, or perhaps to simply psych out the opponent and keep them guessing. Akuma's Kongo Koretsu-san art. Akuma puts his hand up and charges it with energy, violently slamming his fist on the ground. The resulting explosion of pure energy first takes the form of a lightning bolt, and then emanates outwards in a shockwave of energy that rises from the ground as a geyser formation. Provided the entire move of the initial bolt and following aftershocks connect, it can deplete around 60% of the opponent's health. Akuma developed the move over many years and mastered it only by the end of Street Fighter III Second Impact. In Street Fighter Alpha 2, after fighting Ryu on his tiny island, he uses the technique to crush it into pieces. This is Akuma's most important art. The Shun Goku Satsu, the Raging Demon, is a super combo move made famous by Akuma himself. It is one of the most powerful attacks throughout the franchise, its roots coming from the Ansatsuken style of martial art. The Ansatsuken is described as the assassination arts, which consist of any martial art developed with the intention of slaying an opponent. The Raging Demon attack consists in Akuma gathering energy from his Satsui no Hado, and in a matter of seconds, everything turns black as he glides towards its opponent and delivers a barrage of combos, leaving the opponent defeated. The odd thing about Akuma's Raging Demon attack is that the damage it creates is not made by Akuma's strength. Rather, this technique hurts as much as the opponent deserved. It is based on the evilness of the opponent. According to Street Fighter lore, the Raging Demon is karmic in nature, with the move channeling punishment based on the weight of the sins that dwell within the soul of the individual being attacked. The move often appears as Akuma's most powerful super combo, especially at full power. In Street Fighter III Second Impact, it appears as his secret super art, and one of 2 secret super arts in Street Fighter III Third Strike. He can use it in a match no matter what super art had been selected, thus giving him access to more than one super art at any given time. Akuma has non-canon feats that demonstrate the range of his power. In Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Fate of Two Worlds, Akuma appears as one of the 4 characters working alongside Galactus as his heralds, though his motivation is the same as in most appearances. In his ending, he is shown to have defeated Galactus, as well as many others from the other dimension that stood in his path. Seeing how the Planet Eater himself could not defeat him, Akuma decides not to wait for strong opponents to appear, but rather to seek them out. Galactus is a comic entity who originally consumed planets to sustain his life force. Galactus is depicted as a godlike figure who feeds by draining living planets of their energy and operates without regard to the morality and judgments of mortal beings in the Marvel Universe. In the Super Street Fighter II Turbo, Akuma was banned in the United States tournaments. This is a result of the fact that Akuma was initially designed to be extremely powerful. Such power is potentially reflected in his lack of a super combo at that point. As a computer-controlled boss in Super Street Fighter II Turbo, Akuma is even more powerful, faster, and more durable in comparison, usually only appearing as a final or hidden boss. This reflects his personality, as Akuma often holds back his power, so as to give his opponents a fighting chance. When fought as a secret boss, Akuma effectively deems the player's characters worthy, and powers up accordingly. Akuma is one of these characters that are 1 in a million. His power makes him one of the strongest characters in the Street Fighter franchise. So what did you like about the Shun Goku Satsu so far? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching.